Your staff are on record saying that you're paying less here than other jurisdictions, I presume the UK, for this job.
No, that's not quite right, but they have got a point.
Well, they're saying, that's what they said, that
well, no.
£5,000 or something less here.
£5,000 less in EMI than a regular hospital, but we pay the same as the UK, if not slightly more. I'm not quite sure about that, but certainly we pay the appropriate rates. And we're now having to look at that.
Because you can't get people to fill these...
No, nor can they in the UK. I mean, it's not as if the UK is better off than us. This situation has been a developing one, as lack of staff availability has become an acute problem right across the UK. So we're, as it were, fishing in a pond with ever less fish in, and we are constantly accelerating our efforts to get to a point where we can staff up properly. Paul, because we have to, and we will have to do all and everything it takes to get back to a sensible position.
But you have got these long-term sickness people. I mean, those people...
Well, no, hang on a second. No, sometimes listening to this from the outside, you can perhaps think that the long-term sickness comes through unhappiness in work or stress, whatever. But these are our cases in Guernsey were genuine, serious cases of sickness, and you know, we're grateful, profoundly grateful to the staff down there for all the work they've done. It's been remarkable.
Now, your team again on the media today, this morning, was saying that they hope it'll be a month, but they won't guarantee that it'll be a month or 6 weeks.
Well, let me just come to that one. If we put a figure on it now, that would be very foolish, because if we could just about open in a month's time and then something else went wrong, Paul, where would we be then? Could we close it again? The answer is no. When we reopen, and it will be as soon as we possibly can make it, we have to be sure that we've got the staffing right. We can't go through this again.
And you've got Ramsey yet to come on stream, of course.
Indeed, yes. A huge amount of work to do to increase and recruit the number of staff that we employ.
Some people will think this is a money issue, that you are cutting back somewhere.
No.
You know, you're looking people in the eyes and you can definitely say...
It is absolutely nothing to do with budgets or cutting back. As I said to you earlier, we're growing the service, we're investing in it, and we will do what it takes to make sure the Isle of Man has a good EMI service.
But for some time you've known the staff levels are low and critical, and you had 2 off on maternity leave now as well, which, you know, was obviously would have been planned into this, no doubt, that you knew they were going off.
Yeah, but we have been... we have entered into and been involved in a recruiting process for some time. We've had a number of false starts, as it were, recruiting people and finding that actually they weren't quite right. And we had hoped constantly that we would get the new staff in time to avoid a closure. Because the last thing you want to do is close a unit for all sorts of obvious reasons. And we didn't succeed. Now, with a little bit of quiet and calm, we must get to a situation where we have sufficient staff to reopen Guernsey, and then thereafter Ramsey to follow. Are
you going to be keeping your eye on the ball on this one personally?
Of course.
I mean, the Council of Ministers had a meeting the other day. You had the local MHKs. I mean, June Watson was one that was on the record from this person I spoke to yesterday, saying that they were baffled by this. They were, and other words are saying that they didn't know it was coming, basically. Did you not keep them in the loop?
Well, the short answer is no, because you cannot go around creating uncertainty. Look back a week or two ago, we had hoped to keep it open. The last thing you do in those circumstances is go around saying, well, we might be closing this. I mean, that's ridiculous. So it was always going to be a very, very difficult decision, a difficult one to handle. Yes, I did meet with June and the Southern MHKs yesterday lunchtime in between a long Council of Ministers. I took them through, along with my senior staff, the situation, and I think it's for you now to discuss with June what he thinks and the others what they think.
But were they happy from your point of view? Do you think you gave them the answers they wanted or were expecting?
Well, they remained deeply concerned, as I am, about the situation, but they were satisfied and said so, that we were doing all we possibly can to get back to a sensible situation, and that in the circumstances we've done all we can.
With hindsight, do you think you handled this correctly?
Yes.